Welcome everyone, it's the Crypto Lark, and I have Reuben from Zcoin on today, and we're going to be talking about some very serious situation that is going on over at Zcoin. Reuben, how's it going?
As best as could be.
Been better days, I'm sure. You guys have had a lot to deal with recently. Now, there has been a flaw discovered in Zerocoin, which is, the underlying privacy technology of Zcoin. So can you kind of walk us through what is that flaw and how did you guys kind of find out about this?
Sure. So basically, for those of you who aren't aware of the Zerocoin protocol, you take a coin, you burn it, and then you can redeem it at any time in the future, and that coin comes up brand new with no previous transaction history. And to actually redeem that brand new coin, you need to prove that you burnt the coin. And that's what we call zero knowledge proof, where you prove that you burnt the coin without showing which exact coin that you burnt. So that's how the zero knowledge proof works. But because of this fundamental flaw, you could prove that you burnt the coin, but you can reuse that proof to redeem it many times. So if the protocol worked correctly, if you burn one coin, you redeem one coin. But what this flaw allows you to do is when you burn one coin, then you could generate as many ones as you want from that one burn. And that was basically the flaw in a nutshell. How we detected it is that because Zcoin has been subject to attacks in the past, so we had certain tools to analyze patterns on our network. And usually when there's a serious uptick and suddenly there's a lot of private transactions happening, and they always tend to be focusing on the largest denomination, which is 100 Zcoin. That's kind of when the alarm bells start running, okay, this could be legit, but this is something maybe we should just take a look at. And we were looking at it. We didn't see anything that was really off, but what happened that really sort of told us that we were being hacked was when the amount of redemptions, that means the amount of coins coming back in, were more than the coins that were actually being burnt. And then we knew for sure that, well, something is definitely not right. And that's what happens when we did that. We contacted the mining pools hey, I can't tell you too much, but we need to disable Zerocoin right now. And luckily there's 4 or 5 pools and all of them cooperated. We gave them the code and we disabled Zerocoin on mining pool level. So that's kind of what happened in a nutshell.
So when he took it off the mining pools, basically it was really difficult for anyone, that malicious actor, to kind of get through and actually be able to process those newly minted but fake coins, essentially. I guess they were real coins, they were just inflated beyond what was supposed to be allowed within the system.
That's right, yeah.
And now you weren't the only one affected either. This is something that at a real base level that affects all Zerocoin implementations. So that's like PivX and Veil and Nix and a couple other smaller projects beyond that.
Yes, definitely. Zerocoin is actually, although it was come out in 2014, a lot of projects, of course, we were the first ones to implement it, and then many other projects followed. So it's kind of been a mainstay of I guess many other masternode and privacy coins. And because it was not a coding error, it was actually a cryptographic flaw. That means it's more on the design itself. That it affects all these projects. And what we did was that when we found out that something was not right, we actually disclosed it to the projects that we felt could help us, and we told them enough.
So I think the question that I have is, with all these great minds who are, working out, all these different teams who are working on it, and just some, hacker dude comes along and kind of exploits this underlying part of the protocol. So why wasn't it seen sooner with all these teams working on it? And it's Zerocoin's not just something that came out of nowhere. It was supposedly, it's been peer reviewed and stuff like that. How was this missed?
It's really interesting because, first of all, to actually hack it, you would really need to dig into the internals, not just the code, but actually the cryptography. And I probably think there's only like a handful of people like with real cryptographic knowledge that can actually exploit this. So first of all, there's only a limited number of people who can find this flaw. Secondly, the part that was broken was interestingly not actually described in the original Zerocoin paper. There were no security proofs. It was just described in code, and it was just assumed to be correct. There was no, because like unlike like when you come up with an academic paper, you should have all the components there, the security proofs to make sure that those proofs check out. But here, this part of the proof was somehow just missing from the paper, and we're not quite sure why. Maybe it was just overlooked. And if you take a look at the original Zerocoin paper, it will actually say that there should be a follow-on paper that would describe this in more detail. And I think that paper never happened. So yeah, and obviously when Zcoin started, we actually hired like cryptographers to look into this protocol. And of course, we did find bugs. There was an academic paper called Burning Zerocoins for Fun and Profit that actually resulted from these things. So of course, when we trusted all these people, like, hey, people have looked at it, really good people have looked at it. They think it's okay. So we just assumed to be okay. And now on retrospect, we should have like look at every single component and like, is there a security proof there? Is there a security proof there? And unfortunately, that didn't happen with Zerocoin. And we had actually we weren't focusing on Zerocoin anymore because, we were already like since 2017, we've already announced that we want to move away from that because Zerocoin has trusted setup, very large proof sizes. It's like 25 kilobytes. And so we were always wanting to just move away from that. So we dedicated all our resources on developing Sigma and developing Lelantus, which is the replacement of Zerocoin. And we weren't actually like looking back, like, why should we look so deeply into something that we're going to move off already? And we actually we felt that we did our duty in already hiring all these cryptographers to look at that. And unfortunately, we were proven wrong. And I think it's a hard lesson that, anything that's live, no matter if you're facing it out or not, you should really examine every single component. And that was actually an interesting thing, is like that, in retrospect, that sounds like, yeah, that's so obvious. But hey, like a project like Zerocash, like Zcash, also suffered a similar flaw like just a couple of months back, which had a really catastrophic flaw live for 2 years on their platform. And it was kind of like a similar type of issue where one part of the construction was not fully described in the paper, and that's how the flaw kind of cracked in. So I guess it goes to show that getting this stuff is not easy. And there's also, I would say, value in creating cryptographic constructions that are simple. I think somebody came up with a sort of example like, yeah, you could build this amazing Eiffel Tower, but like there's a fundamental flaw in like this one rivet that, it's like made of paper. You didn't know about it, but then the whole thing collapses. When it's better maybe to just like, have a few blocks, you stack them up, and you can examine each of those blocks a lot simpler. And that's why we feel like stuff like Sigma and Lelantus, compared to even Zerocoin, are definitely much more simpler than Zerocash. All of its components have security proofs, and it's a lot more simpler to get. And I guess for like a non-crypto person, like an analogy would be like a cryptographer can take a look at Sigma and Lelantus, a good one, maybe understand it within 15 to 20 minutes. Just reads the paper, understands it, like, yeah, that makes sense. Something like Zerocash may take like 1 week or so. And even then, that would be like not a full understanding. It was like, I understand how the components work, but just how it all fits together. Yeah. So it goes to show like it's this type of stuff. There's some value in having very simple constructions, which is what we are trying to do at Zcoin. Achieve great anonymity, but with simple constructions and with basic cryptographic assumptions.
I think one thing to keep in mind here is we're in the early pioneering stages in a lot of ways in the crypto industry overall. I mean, we can look at Zerocoin, or we can look at ring signatures. Obviously, we've just had Mimblewimble be announced recently, and as actually having projects running on the Mimblewimble protocol. And so we have all this new technology coming out, and things are going to happen from time to time. And it's like you said, that we did actually have something with Zcash, and I think didn't Monero have some kind of like an inflation bug at one point or something as well?
Yes, yes, there was a way to. I'm not an expert in this, but definitely there was a Monero inflation bug. Fortunately, no one took advantage of it, and it's not just Monero had problems. I mean, even coins like Stellar, which has no privacy feature, also had an inflation bug. And even Bitcoin, like, everyone says, yeah, Bitcoin has never been hacked, but there's been 2 instances where there's been like an inflation bug in, and why it could be detected is because, well, everything's transparent. You can tell when coins are being created out of thin air. And I guess that's kind of like a good argument for what we call supply auditability. And that's a really, really interesting question. Like when you add layers like like you call it ring CT, like confidential transactions, where you hide values, you kind of lose supply auditability because you can't really tell how much coins are existing in the network. You rely on certain cryptographic proofs to prove that coins aren't being created out of thin air. But Monero's problems, they had those proofs, but an inflation bug still could have happened as well. Similarly, like, with Zcash, they're not even sure whether they were hacked or not, because they don't have supply auditability. Those, if they were hacked coins, they could exist in the shielded layer indefinitely, and you could never have to bring it back. And in a way, like, we might not have detected this bug, but what will happen is that because we force everyone to go and redeem coins back into the base layer, at least we have an additional level of auditability there. Of course, it's not going to be the same level of auditability as Bitcoin, but there is still some sort of like forcing, like you can't have like 1 billion coins sitting, unredeemed.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
I think with Zcash, I mean, they recently had their sapling upgrade, and that was actually, in order to upgrade to sapling, you had to not do it in a shielded transaction, so they were able to do that audit. Now, that was quite controversial with some members of their community for good reason, but yeah, that kind of, I think, because of a lot of these things, because a lot of these issues have been coming up with different projects, and it's not unique to anyone specifically. We have seen these kind of issues happening with different projects throughout time. Now, currently, so you have disabled Zerocoin currently on Zcoin. So right now, Zcoin is just a straight up money crypto. I mean, you guys are like litecoin right now until you get your new privacy features on, right?
Right, that's right.
And so you can follow up on that, but I want to just as well, your new privacy features. I mean, are we looking at new unique implementations here, or is this something like Ring Signatures Plus or ZK Snarks Plus or Mimblewimble with bells on top or something? So what is your new privacy feature they're looking at?
It's actually from a paper in 2014 as well. Or was it 2014, 2015, around there? So it's not a new paper. It's called actually One Out of Many Proofs. And it was basically a totally different way to construct Zerocoin without requiring a trusted setup, with much smaller proof sizes. And why, and that's kind of like the basis of our paper. Is written by some of the top cryptographers in the world, called Jens Grot and Markov Kohlweiss. I think Jens is with Dfinity right now. So yeah, I mean, I think he's like one of the, like unsung heroes of modern cryptography. So, and unlike a Zerocoin, which is quite a lengthy paper and still not fully described, well, the Zerocash paper, which is, I don't know, 40 plus pages or so, the One Out of Many Proofs paper is a very simple construction. I think it's maybe 10 pages or so, or something like that. And every single component has a security proof. I would say that it has like a similar type of function where you can burn and redeem coins, but it's using a totally different mechanism. But although the mechanism is new in the sense that no one has implemented it yet, but the cryptography that bases it is pretty standard cryptography. You're not making like new assumptions or like new curves or new stuff like that. So on the cryptographic standpoint, it's quite secure, and fingers crossed, of course. I mean, I can never guarantee that that, hey, you know, this thing is never going to be hacked, but we have a lot higher confidence.
Crazy things happen
level.
all the time in crypto. Now,
Definitely.
I guess the question as well would be, I mean, why choose this over something like ZK snarks or ring signatures, which, you know, obviously have had their issues at different times as well, but they are very robust. They are working. They are quite popular, especially ZK snarks is increasingly being implemented across different blockchains.
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, like, first of all, like ZK Snarks, we really like what ZK Snarks is doing. And obviously a lot of projects have also implemented ZK Snarks. And what we felt is that, yes, of course, you can talk about trusted setup where you kind of have the trust the Zcash or whoever created the ceremony to, there's no like backdoor inside that could create coins out of thin air with no one detecting. There's also, like, you know, the concerns of like cryptographic assumptions, like you're using something called knowledge of exponents, which hasn't really stood the test of time. But even if we assume that it all holds, as we said, like, you know, Zcash is super complex. Like, I mean, even Zuko himself, he said and things that I don't understand it completely.
Like, I made it, I don't even get it. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
he didn't make it, but yeah, but I mean, it like goes to show, like, someone as respected and like as qualified as Zuko, you know, who has a lot of cryptographic history, doesn't understand Zcash or Zero Cash completely. I think it's good to have an alternative where, you know, discrete lock assumption, which is like the fundamentals of cryptography. You're still gonna get really high anonymity sets, but first of all, it's a lot easier to implement, and as well, we're gonna still get quite good like performance. And we feel that, I think in this privacy space, we should not be like blinker headed and let's just go down this one route. You know,
everybody do ZK snarks, and then when a flaw is discovered in ZK snarks someday, everyone's exposed.
Correct. And we need alternatives, and we feel that we are providing a good alternative with different trade-offs, and that should be, you know, encouraged, like Mimblewimble, Monero, and all this other stuff. Like, why doesn't everyone just you know, use Monero, or why do we have Zcash? I think that argument can be made for anything. And first of all, we have to realize we're so early in the technology. How do we know what's best? So, yeah, you know, I think anyone who thinks that cryptocurrencies or the underlying cryptography is like, yeah, you know, super ready for mainstream and stuff like that, we're not. You know, we're still
it's
kind
done.
of
all
like,
the solutions are finished already.
No, yeah, we don't even know if blockchain is like the thing to go. I mean, like, yeah, you know, there's so many other distributed ledger technologies that are coming out. Is blockchain the end goal? Which is why I find it really funny when, you know, people say like, yeah, Bitcoin is the only way to go, and maximalism, and it doesn't need to change. Or if you take it to the extreme, like Bitcoin SV, like this vehicle can store anything.
This block size is the only way we can go forward in society. It's actually really interesting, the maximalist thing, because it's funnily enough, it's one of the things I find which really just discredits so much what they're going on about is we see so many different technological implementations happening. Like, let's say that someday we're going to do privacy on Bitcoin. We're going to implement some kind of privacy technology. Well, how the heck are you ever going to decide which one to do? Ring signatures are awesome. ZK snarks are awesome. Mimblewimble's very interesting. Remains to be proven how it'll play out over time, as well as different ideas around privacy. How do you actually select one of those? And chances are you're going to have camps that are saying, you know, ring signature is the way, and no, Mimblewimble is the way, and no, this is the way. And then you'll have 3 different Bitcoins. Well, actually, before you'll have the original Bitcoin with no privacy features and all these other ones that put privacy on top of them. We've already seen, like, Bitcoin Private, for example, come out, which is Bitcoin with ZK snarks, right? And that was obviously something else, not really on the mainstream Bitcoin by any means, right? But that was, you know,
nicely.
its own little adventure there. But yeah, there's just so much technology, so much innovation happening right now, and to say that this is going to be the winner, especially this early on, is crazy. And I think that we're going to keep seeing this innovation happening and keep seeing new, fresh, exciting ideas coming out. And you know, it's unfortunate that what happened with Zerocoin happened with Zerocoin. You guys have kind of had to, you know, cut that off until you do get your upgrades coming through. But I think that you'll move stronger out of it in the end.
Yeah, I do want to sort of like, because I come from a martial arts background, and I actually found like this maximalism thing is very, very similar to martial arts because, you know, I learned Aikido from a very young age.
Kung Fu is the best. Kung
Yeah,
Fu forever.
and it was like so ridiculous because, like, you know, Aikido, you know, you try to use it on the street without any modification, you're gonna get beaten up. And and I run an Aikido dojo, right? So, and to think that something has been developed like so long ago that's like meant for samurai and stuff like that is going to be applicable to someone's like now that's just like randomly punching you or giving like all sorts of stuff. It's not the same scenario. And if you think that, oh yeah, you know, because oh sensei did this, like our founder did it like this is the only way to do it, which is ridiculous. Because if you take a look at the founder, he also changed over time. His style changed over time, and martial arts is an evolution. And similarly, like this whole like ridiculous, like it should never change, this is the way Satoshi intended, is exactly the same type of attitude that keeps all these martial arts. That's why they all get beaten up by MMA and all this stuff, right? Like, see all these kung fu masters, my master did it like this, and they get beaten up because they never evolve. And I think that should be the same type of things in cryptocurrency as well. Yeah.
Reuben, I 100% agree. Absolutely. Remember that, guys. Lessons for life right here on the Crypto Lark channel. All kinds of value. Awesome, Reuben. Thank you so much for coming on and telling us kind of what's going on with Zerocoin and really sharing some great wider thoughts on the privacy space. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.